So was it your friends that was there a bug?
Yeah.
Was it your friends that have that YouTube channel?
Yeah, we became friends through that, but
Okay.
Sonder and Summer,
Okay.
and they have a third person, Joey, and they're all really accomplished in their own fields.
Yeah.
She's basically a botanist and has a
Okay.
very successful YouTube thing on her own.
Yeah.
And then he's a top tier video editor, video
Okay.
animator, and just an absolute genius.
Yeah, the videos look great. And then I was telling Tim, I was telling you earlier, I was back home in Kentucky where I'm from, and in February, and a friend of mine who follows Eat Local New York said, "Oh, you've got to check out this YouTube channel from the Finger Lakes." And he sent me he was like, "They just did this tour of this place. It's opening. It looks amazing." And he sent me that episode.
Awesome.
And I was like, "Oh, I know about this place. My buddy's doing the beer there."
That's awesome. That's so cool.
So yeah. So, and that thing it's just amazing.
Oh, I haven't seen those videos in 6 months, 5 months. I can't imagine how many views they have at this point, because I think within the first 24 hours they had close to 10,000 views on some of them. Yeah, they have a huge audience. We've had people come in here from pretty far away.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple email us from Maine asking our advice on how to build a greenhouse. I was like, hey, give me a year. Let me see how this one works out for the first year, and I'll let you know if you should take any advice from us.
So what is this place that we're sitting in, and when does it open, and what are you doing here?
So this is a one-of-a-kind geothermal timber frame greenhouse that we conceptualized with our friends at Trade Design Build. Geothermal greenhouse I was taken by them, I guess you could say, 7 years ago when I went down this YouTube hole, because I was already growing food at the time, and just got obsessed with this idea of having one. We were going to do like a real DIY version, and then one thing led to another. Many circumstances changed. The pandemic hit, and we just kind of shifted and ended up, after a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, like literally blood, sweat, and tears, ended up with this beautiful one-of-a-kind structure. And we're going to open. We've been open all summer. I guess you could say this season was kind of a soft open for us. We're open one day a week, doing pizza, fresh salads from our garden.
Yeah.
Once a week. And live music. And now legally we can open up the tap room at the end of this month. We're shooting for the last weekend of this month. And so we're getting it all set up now to have Buried Acorn Brewing and feature a bunch of cider from around the region and wine, and just create a really special place for you. I think, my driving force is like watching people on a Saturday here make memories with their families and stuff, and talk about like coming back every weekend, and like that's, I don't know, I think that's what we're aspiring to be, that kind of place.
Yeah. And Tim, you're going to have your beer out here.
Yeah, most of what he was saying with the blood, sweat, and tears, the tears, that doesn't have to do with me. That's all him. I don't cry. Why do you laugh like that? He's saying, come down.
What a clown.
So what are you drinking?
This is something you made, right?
Yeah, that's Wackaloon.
Yeah, there it is.
Supposedly.
It's our Oktoberfest.
I will. I'll say this: when I had it last week at the place that you had that cheese and beer tasting.
Oh, that place that you booked for me? What was that called? Epicuse.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You made all that money off that gig.
Oh, I did.
And
in 2 weeks.
I didn't like this beer there.
Oh, you're such an asshole.
But I do
Can I swear
like
on your
it.
show?
Huh?
I can swear on your show,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
of course. But I do like
British talk shows.
Can they swear?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
You ever watch Graham Norton? If you haven't.
Like clips.
Yeah. It's incredible.
But I like it now.
Sweet.
Maybe just because it's 11 in the morning, and I think beer always tastes better in the morning.
You're on the top of a mountain, a geothermal greenhouse surrounded by foliage and oak barrels.
It's the lemongrass, I think.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah.
It adds a little citrusy
The
aroma.
best beer I've ever had in my life was anything
Wackaloon at Buried Acorn and Stone Bend FLX.
anything
Yeah, okay.
by Griffin Hill. But I'm convinced it's
he
only
makes-
because I'm there at 8 in the morning.
He makes great beer.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it. I mean, I don't know shit, but.
He's a farm brewery down in south side of Syracuse.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think drinking in the morning is better. Always tastes better. So
Well,
you're doing
that's
the
the first thing I do.
Yeah. So you're doing the beer here.
So we're
A
doing
lot of the barrel aged, right?
barrel. So we brought down oak to our small format oak from our other brewery, and we added more there. We added large format oak. their 1,700 gallon large format upright oak tanks to the brewery up north, and then down here we're bringing all of our small format barrels for aging. And we were going to also have a tap room here. We'll put it in 16 beer lines bar, and we'll have to-go sales as well as a bunch of package. Like Terry said, we're going to feature a bunch of cider like we do at our tap room in Syracuse.
How did you two meet?
We met at a house party in Syracuse, and
In the summer of house parties.
Yeah.
There was like a house party, I don't know,
Yeah.
3 times in a week.
Was that when you were?
There were serious parties.
Were you releasing your rap album at that point?
well, yes, and you don't want me to start talking about that, man. You'll get me all real trouble.
Tim, we met back in Syracuse, but our band, the band that me and my brother had started, we were on tour around the country, and we had a serious member problem. We had to get rid of somebody very spur of the moment, and we called back to Syracuse, and we're all talking about the people we met who could fill in, who's capable of playing, and Tim's name got thrown in a few times by a few people, oh, Tim, Vegan Tim, as he was known.
20 years.
Yeah, seriously.
Animal.
And within a few days, I think Tim learned our whole album by listening to the CD, which, I mean, I'm not saying we're the most complicated thing ever, but it's not something most people could do.
Yeah.
And then Tim took a train out to Chicago and met up. I remember me and my girlfriend at the time, we went and picked him up at the train station.
Yeah.
And friends ever since.
3 days later, we played a show without rehearsal.
Yeah.
It's great.
And he killed it.
Were you straight edge
It
at
was
all?
a big radio festival,
No,
too.
Not when he met us, he wasn't.
It was, no, I wasn't.
You were never straight edge?
No, I was for a decade when
Yeah.
I was really young. Yeah.
Before he was offered any drugs.
Yeah. So this is how they all grew up. All the straight edge kids. They grew up to be Tim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all are
Making
craft
beer.
beer brewers now.
I was wondering what happened to all of them.
Well, yeah, we flew out to Chicago. We started touring with them, and did that for a few years. And then he randomly was going to move over here. I ended up in Chicago.
I was in Chicago with my girlfriend.
I was getting there, dude.
And Tim called me. He's like, "Hey," he was living in Delaware, working at the Steel Trust Company.
I was building a church with the Mennonites.
And he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna move to Chicago." I was like, "All right, cool." And so he moved to Chicago.
So I moved over there, and we lived there for a little while. That's where I kind of came up in beer. And this was
Gotcha.
probably 15 years ago now. Oh, well, 96 or no,
Almost,
06?
almost.
06?
Oh, you moved there and never moved away.
Yeah,
So,
2006, yeah. So 2006, we're over there, and then I started doing beer over there shortly thereafter, and doing it at home and doing it, in brew pubs there. And then we wanted to open a brewery. We moved and opened the Tap Room Brewery in Syracuse. We distribute still in Illinois as well, just in the Chicagoland area. We distributed all of New York State, and then now in Pennsylvania as well.
So Terry, how'd you get into pizza?
I mean, I've always been into pizza.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, I guess. But I grew up in the Northeast. Grew up near Philly, New York City, Jersey. Great pizza.
Right.
And so I've always really been into food. But when I was in Chicago, I think I realized how obsessed I was with what I would call Northeastern pizza,
Yeah.
I don't even really call it New York style because Jersey has better pizza than New York.
Yeah.
But there was at the time, in the mid to late 2000s, there's no good hand-tossed pizza in Chicago to speak of.
Oh, really?
No, like zero. Nobody was really. The people that were doing it were few and far between, and they weren't good pizza places.
Yeah.
But when I was managing a mushroom farm.
Okay.
And I would do a lot of farmers markets and be at a lot of places. And I was at this market weekly called Green City Market twice a week, and became friends with this guy who had a mobile pizza oven. His name was Jared Batson, and really talented guy. And we sold mushrooms to him and became friendly and ate his pizza for breakfast many times. And so years later, when I ended up on this farm, with this land, we were trying to figure out creative revenue streams for the farm.
Yeah.
Selling prepared food was one of the things we thought of instead of trying to be another person at the market selling the same produce.
Right.
And so that was a discussion. We did different things, catering gigs, farm dinners, and then pizza. I just started making pizza for myself here and my family because I couldn't find the pizza I wanted around here. And that became inviting people over.
Yeah.
And that became, hey, when can we get this more often? And they're like, we should just sell this. We bought this oven. And
That's awesome.
yeah, and it's become our life.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like a lot of people during the pandemic, when everybody was shut in, I got into, pretty much all of like the food trends like sourdough and, but pizza was a big one for me. I wanted to get one of those like unis or rock boxes.
Yeah, they're great.
And like really go after
used
it
both,
with that.
yeah.
I wound up just getting in like a baking steel and doing it that way, and it was okay.
That's how I started with a pizza stone.
Yeah.
In my oven, as hot as I could get the oven.
Yeah.
And turns out some really good pizzas.
Yeah, it can.
That was also, I was right before all those little ovens started coming out on the market big time.
Yeah.
They were out. Uni was out. But so it's so funny. I really got into the whole sourdough pizza thing pre-pandemic just because I was on that journey.
Right.
And then all of a sudden there was so many more resources for it, because it became really, really trendy. And it's become easier to sell pizza.
Yeah, for sure.
Because people understand, like, more people, I think, understand the work that goes into, like, making a good dough. Or,
right.
And it's not just do whatever,
Yeah, I was spending a lot of time in the pandemic trying to figure out the dough.
Yeah. It's a lot. Dude, we've been making pizza for 4 years now, pretty seriously. And we're always figuring out the dough.
Yeah.
Like, we just now, this season, I think, and especially we do it outdoors. We do most of our pizza outdoors.
Mm.
And we do different locations.
Yeah.
So it changes, like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, today it's going to be like almost 80 degrees.
Right. It's going to be very different.
Yeah, than a week ago,
I think Tim has a question.
So I'm really good at
can you
interviewing. I was wondering.
Excuse me for a
I
second.
wanted to ask a question.
Yeah. Of me?
No, the guy that just left the table.
That's all right. We've got 1 minute anyways.
Well, hey, Steve. Sup? Hey, I got to ask you a question. We only got 1 minute left, man. You got that phone call with Zoom. Hey, Terry, I got a question for you.
Hey, Tim, what's up?
Well, I'm interviewing you, and this is really fun because I have a microphone. I was wondering, where do you source your ingredients?
You ever hear of Cheney Brothers or Cisco?
I don't know what that is. No,
we don't use those.
say that. Bleep
No.
that out. Can you edit that out? That's not a thing.
Cisco is a sponsor of the podcast.
Buy from Cisco.
We grow all our tomatoes. We grow our garlic. We grow our greens. We grow our peppers. We grow most of the veggie toppings that we use outside of mushrooms. But luckily, there's a lot of mushroom growers around here. And we were using local pepperoni from the piggery, which is a long time business here, but they closed down this summer.
Yeah.
So we were kind of freaking out for a second, but it actually led to a really good result. We actually ended up starting getting Vermont Smoke and Cure. Have you seen that?
Oh,
I'll let you try some before you leave.
Yeah.
It's incredible pepperoni.
Really?
Like, I had a guy who's been in the pizza business for 40 years come up to me at a pizza event. He goes, I got to get the info on this. He goes, best pepperoni I've ever had in my life. I've been doing pizza for a long time.
Huh.
A lot of people have had that reaction to it, though. And I'm not like, I hadn't eaten meat for like 20 years.
Oh, really?
I've gotten really eating pepperoni again in the last year.
Huh. That's wild.
But
So,
yes, we source all locally. And then the most exciting part of our sourcing, there's a chainsaw in the background there, is our flour. We're really, really lucky to be, and this is actually, I wouldn't say lucky, the reason we chose pizza as the vehicle for our farm, for what we do in the revenue stream, is because we wanted to find a product that we could source locally.
Yeah.
And flour was a big piece of that.
Yeah.
We have farmer ground flour here.
Okay.
They're become friends of ours.
Are they out of Trumansburg, right?
Yeah, and they grow, some of it's grown right there.
Oh,
I
really?
can see it from our property.
Wow.
But they at least land all around here and grow and mill flour. And they come in, it's the best. Like some Saturdays they come in, there's some of their crew, and you get the whole farmer ground crew sitting there.
Awesome. That's the only place that I could find rye flour during the pandemic was from them.
Really good, too.
Yeah.
Where do you get your cheese? Sargento?
No. So we work with Lively Run Dairy. I don't know if you're familiar with Lively Run. So another, purveyor that we've become close with. So mozzarella was the big question at the beginning. It was like, are we going to make our own mozzarella?
Yeah.
Because at the beginning I was making it from milk. Yeah. And if you've done that, it's, making the curds is the hard part.
Yeah.
And it's very time consuming. It's like starting another business, really.
Right.
So we did that for the first year or so. And I just this isn't sustainable.
Yeah.
So then we started buying, what is it, Leone from Jersey. Pretty good mozzarella, but it's like, what a lot of people use. And then, because mainly I couldn't get local cheese curd.
Yeah.
I just couldn't figure that one out. And then pandemic hit. and there were all these dairies that were dumping all this milk, you know, thousands of gallons of milk every week. And so Lively Run, being the amazing people they are, they started taking that milk from them instead of it being wasted and turning it into cheese curd. Just because it would extend the shelf life.
Right.
And so they started making this stretching curd, you know, for mozzarella. And that's what we work with. It was a you know, a fairly long process to get it dialed in.
Yeah.
But now it's just like it's awesome. And I'll let you try some of that too. I mean, the best is when you get to try it right, you know, when we're making it. But it's incredible mozzarella and yeah, so that's our pizza. The only thing that doesn't come from like uber local, I mean, the pepperoni's from Vermont. Lemons we use.
Yeah.
Salt, which I'm hopefully going to start getting actually from a Syracuse purveyor, and olive oil. Yeah. And that's it.
So when do you guys open? I mean, I know you're doing like Saturdays right now.
Saturdays here. We do a lot of pop-ups. So like, I mean, yesterday we do a lot of special private catering events as well.
Yeah.
But we do every Tuesday at Firelight Camps through this whole season, which is like a glamping destination. Really cool people. They do a live music thing on Tuesday nights. So we've been there every Tuesday night all season. It's been incredible, like to see that whole thing grow. Yeah. And then Thursdays, like tonight, we're at Press Bay Alley, downtown Ithaca, right downtown. We're there till the end of October. And then come November, we're going to shift back to one of our like long-time relationships, the Argos. Yeah, that's right. We'll be there doing pizza through the winter. Cool. And we're going to be introducing some new stuff. We won't just be doing our hand-tossed pizza. We'll be doing some other stuff. So awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for coming down. Yeah, Terry, nice to meet you. Tim. Over and out. You look great.